Welcome. Well, you are at home with Jim and Joy, and you are an important part of our EWTN family. And we are so delighted that you have welcomed us into your home. We certainly would love to hear from you. So send us an email with a question or a comment to jimandjoy@ewtn.com. Well, today our guests are Dr. Chuck and Betsy Stokes. They are Catholic college mentors and counselors, and you could go to their website, datetowin.org. And we're going to have a wonderful conversation just talking about what's happened to dating. Maybe since we started dating when we were very young. And then we got married.
We're not here to talk about ourselves.
No, but I mean, a lot has changed, right? So we're married 45 years. Just in 10 years, 20 years, the whole scheme of dating and what has happened to it, and where do we find ourselves in the church, out of the church? What is best? What should we do? How do we form and shape and conform ourselves to what God would have us to do in dating?
That's why we have the Stokes with us, because they're going to tell us all about that. But you know, the message they want to convey is that the typical modern dating model has become profoundly broken. We see that because a lot of these people come to us, pregnant out of wedlock, whatever's happened, sexually transmitted diseases. So the current model is profoundly broken. It is more divorce training. So a lot of what people are into, their dating relationships and what's going on with them and around them, it's like training so that if you did get married, you get divorced, just from what they are learning. That training for marriage or for growth in holiness, we need training for dating that will help you grow in virtue and in holiness, which is the real goal, married or not. And so this is what they mean by date to win, and they have some basic principles. And plus, just overall, they've been working with college students, young adults, for like over 25 years. And so these are our kids that are in these colleges and in school, and they're opening up their hearts, they're speaking to the Stokes, and what are they learning so that we can learn better and have a more healthy way to date, so that it's not just kind of a hookup or connection, or you're seeing this person, you're seeing 2 or 3 other people at the same time, and so on. Date to win. Date to become holy. Date in virtue. Date so that when you are married, it will last a lifetime. Plenty more to come. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Welcome back. Well, you're at home with Jim and Joy, and today our guests are Dr. Chuck and Betsy Stokes. They are both Catholic college mentors and counselors, and you can visit their website, datetowin.org. And you certainly don't want to miss the show because you want to hear what these two have to say. Well, we are excited to have the both of you on.
Thank you.
You're both converts.
Yes.
Married 25 years.
Yes.
So I want you both to tell our family your story and how you married and dated and came into the Catholic Church.
Okay, well, we were both raised Protestant and really loved the Lord, and we're very committed to our faith. And when we met each other in college, and really fell in love, we knew that we had said, if we get married, we want it to be that the Lord can use us together better than using us separately.
Amen.
So we were passionately in love with the Lord, but really didn't know anything about Catholicism at first. Yeah.
And there were several little steps along the way that were happening. Like we had a friend, one of my best friends became Catholic. He got Scott Hahn cassette tapes from his girlfriend, and he came into the church just a year after we graduated, I think. And he and I argued so much. I remember in the dorm room we would get into arguments, but ultimately I was like, this is moving him closer to Jesus, what he's doing. And so that was a little step for us toward Catholicism. And then that same couple early in our marriage, introduced us to NFP. We were very pro-life, and they were like, you need to take the next step and look into this. And again, it was just another step toward the church. And what ended up being maybe about a 15-year journey, I guess, for us to come into the church.
So then you were both at Samford, right? And you're a professor there, and you got your Master's of Divinity there.
Right.
That's here in Greater Birmingham.
That's here in Birmingham.
Yeah.
It's an
Great
outstanding school. And so when you take this journey and you both want to be used by God, right? As a couple, we get that. It's kind of like we're a team package, you know, which is good because the world needs people like you, right?
Amen.
So you became Catholic in Texas.
Right.
Then you came back to Birmingham. And then what happened? So now you're back Catholic.
Okay.
Right? And so you're at this Protestant school.
We came back to Samford. I was fortunate to be able to come back and be on faculty there. And we really didn't know how it was going to go coming back as Catholics. But one of the really beautiful things that happened pretty early on is that during the time while we were away from Samford, a Catholic Student Association was established. I mean, when we were students, there were very few Catholics there on campus, but that number continued to grow. And so we got connected with that Catholic Student Association and started hosting a Bible study for them in our home. And that's been one of the best parts of coming back to Samford that we never anticipated would be a part of it.
Perfect.
You know, as I saw, you know, kind of your title and what you're doing, you know, working with college students, mentoring and all this, it was really heavy just to hear that because there's so much pain going on in colleges and there's so many adults and grandparents saying like, we sent our kids off to college and like, what the heck is going on in terms of their lifestyle, what's going on, what they're being taught. I mean, there's a lot of elements there. But for people like you who know your own, you know, sinfulness and redemption and power of God in your life, I mean, that's a great cause of hope for many of our people watching today. To say they look like nice, healthy, Catholic, Christian, they love Jesus people. Thank God they're with our kids, they're with our grandkids. So tell us about the deepening of that relationship with college students, how that came about. You almost had like kind of a calling, you have a little story about a leaf dropping in your lap or something. I don't know how that fits with everything, but you guys really call to this and you're seeing this day in, day out, these beautiful people, these young people, yet and many of them Christians, Catholic people, yet they get off track somehow, some way. So just share with us about that kind of call to this and the deepening of this, your recommitment to this again and again.
Right. Well, we were kind of already doing college ministry even when we were in college before we got married because Chuck worked for Residence Life at Samford, which is very much a ministry at Samford. And then we just love students. And I remember when we were kind of talking with some mentors about how you know kind of what your calling is. And one of the things they said was, God will show you who your people are, who's your people. And students, and it has not waned at all, that we just love them. I think the group that it's easy for you to be patient with, the group that you're passionate about, that we think about them, we pray for them when they're gone for the summer, we miss them, you know. And so we really believe that even though this is all voluntary, like we don't get paid for it, that it's still very much a calling. And I think that the Lord calls lots of couples, you know, to do that, kind of have where they're put their strengths into mission. For us, there was just kind of this neat thing that happened. We had only been married a short time, and I was going to work, and Chuck was getting his Master's of Divinity, and I was sitting outside of my workplace on a bench before the workday started, and I was feeling really blue. I was just really having a lot of desolation, even though I didn't know at the time that was a thing. And I prayed and said, Lord, I don't feel like you love me. I don't feel like you're close. And I said, if you love me, will you please drop a leaf in my lap? Okay? And this was the fall when leaves were, there was a lot of leaves around. And against all reason, wind started blowing around me and circling around me, and leaves crossed in front of me, and then the wind died down, and the leaves fell to my left and to my right and all around me, and there wasn't a single leaf on me.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Well, as we know, the Lord does not have to respond to our little special signs that we want. But I went into work, And then afterwards, I came back home, and when I came home to our little on-campus apartment, there was a student waiting, a female student waiting for me at the door. And she had heard that Chuck and I would meet with students sometimes, and she wanted to talk about her relationship with her boyfriend. And so, you know, I was tired at the end of the day, but once again, the Lord gives you strength for your calling. And so I came in and we sat her on the couch, and Chuck and I sat next to her and just ministered to her, gave her some good advice and challenged her on some things. And then she got up and gave her a hug, and she left. And I looked back at the couch, and right where she had been sitting, there was a single leaf all by itself on my couch. And the moment that I saw that leaf, and it kind of came to me, Chuck said from behind me, not knowing at all about my prayer earlier, he said, "Wow, did that just fall into our laps or what?"
Awesome.
And I knew God in a new way. I thought, you do love me, Lord. And you love me enough to use me.
Yes.
Right? And there's nothing, honestly, more fulfilling than letting the Spirit work through you to bless others.
Right.
It's light years above just being blessed yourself.
No, it is. And then but to get a outward visible sign, it's like, okay, Lord, thank you for the affirmation. We choose to move ahead. Now, you have college students who go to Sanford. They come from all over the country, right? And so they're there, and are they dating? What are you finding on the dating scene at a very good, healthy college with a strong Christian influence?
Yeah, so there are probably a couple things that we see. One is that there's not a lot of kind of traditional dating, you know, where if you like someone, you ask them out. That doesn't happen very much. There's a lot of talking where they're texting with one another, they're in contact over social media, they're sort of in early negotiations or something like that. It ends up being a very confusing time because they're not sure what their status is. So we see a lot of that. The other thing we see, though, that can be equally confusing or problematic is students, because they're coming from a Christian background, they may say, well, we don't want to mess with this worldly stuff. And so they get very serious very quickly. You know, it's like the first person I meet who I like, I might marry this person. And so because there's that tendency to get serious so quickly, it actually scares a lot of the students. One of the reasons why some of the young men say they're afraid to ask a girl out is because they think she's already thinking about,
she's taking them down the aisle to get married.
Yeah,
Picking
just
out
on
her
that
dress
first
already.
date. So it's a strange sort of mix between the confusion and the talking stage and on the one hand, and then on the other hand, getting very serious very quickly.
Wow. Okay, so I see there's some good things in that I'm hearing, you know, that marriage is still part of the discussion here.
Yeah.
But sometimes, even with the best of people who are committed people, it moves swiftly, which could be a real problem, you know, because you really want to get to know the person, you get close, and then all of a sudden you find yourself that intimacy is not just communication. Intimacy can really become physical and sexual because you're trying to really know this person or something. And then you're in trouble. You've compromised,
And it can become physical before you're even emotionally intimate.
Right.
Before you really have even bared your heart.
Right.
At all.
I had a client the other day who was with her boyfriend and who thought she was pregnant. And I had just asked her this simple question. Do you even know his favorite topping on pizza? like let's get real here. And she looked at me, she goes, no. And I said, but you had sex with him. Like, you don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
And we all want to be seen and known and heard. That's our heart cry. And we misconstrue that and think in order for me to keep him, I need to have physical intimacy with him because then he'll really love me.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's not true.
or we'll really know then.
Right. And the fact is, you don't know what it's like to be married unless you're married. Like, it's an adventure.
And we're married 45 years, we're still figuring that out.
I mean, every little phase of marriage, every season is special and unique, and you learn new things. And so when our students are dating, unless they get some practice with actual commitments, not saying that they need to be engaged, but just committed to one another And unless they get some practice in serving
Yeah.
and loving each other well, they're not really going to have a clue what marriage is like.
Right.
And it's going to be a big shocker.
Right.
Right. Because when we were talking like about the divorce training,
Right.
modern dating is very much like, we've compared it to shopping,
Right.
where you know, you pick out what you like. If you're not 100% satisfied, you return it, right?
Right.
Get all your money back, but you don't get your money back because you can never take that
Right.
time back or the physical
Yeah.
stuff back.
Right.
And then you try the next brand, okay?
Right.
Even the good kids who are trying to be chaste, who are trying to be good future spouses and trying to find a good future spouse, this is the only model they have. So
Right.
they're trying to imitate the world, but with holiness
Yeah.
in there, but
Right.
with chastity in there.
So the dating like the world, which according to your view, is like you're dating in such a way that you're getting trained for pain, divorce.
Right.
You know, this just doesn't work. We've seen this again and again and again.
Right.
So you're trying to share this with them, and you're trying to present some principles
Yeah.
that can help you to move in a better way. And for you, the better way is in the way of holiness, the way of true discernment, a way of commitment to talk about what are we looking for, how long are we going to be together testing this.
And what does this mean as we
Right.
go forward?
Right.
So you call it date to win. Okay. So I don't know if you want to go speak more about the problems or the solutions at this point, but you've also done some research and there's been studies out about what these people, young people, Gen Z and whoever else there, are really looking for.
Right.
And it comes up what when they say what they're looking for?
Yeah, so
Even though they're not using your model, they're looking for what?
absolutely, they want to be known. And that's something that I hear from the students in class. I see it in the research. The latest term they're using is being seen. I want to be seen. And this is something, this isn't just the Christian kids who are saying this.
right, right.
This is
Gotcha.
across the board. And the idea is you want to know and be known. And so one of the problems that has come out in really the largest study on relationship satisfaction that's ever been done is that these two things are linked. That intimacy, which is defined as knowing and being known, is linked to security. And that you really can't experience intimacy unless you feel like the other person is invested in you, unless you feel like the other person is committed to you. And that's something we all know kind of intuitively,
You have
right?
to
If you're,
perceive that.
if you're putting yourself out there to be known, you want to know that that other person is going to treasure that they're
Right.
going to
Yeah.
be loyal.
Right.
And so finding a way to balance intimacy and commitment is really critical for healthy progression of relationships.
Because otherwise you're casting your pearls before the swine
Yeah.
and then you hold back.
Right.
Not doing that again
Yeah.
because I did that. I said this about myself. I was vulnerable. He or she didn't comprehend it. It didn't get it the way I needed them to get it. And you know, I'm not going to do that again because it's a risk.
Right.
It is.
It's a risk to be in a relationship. It's a risk to even be a friend.
Yeah.
Right.
Let alone to have an encounter with a significant other where you're thinking, is he my mate?
That you're
Is- yeah.
investing in.
Yeah.
So we talk about the balance of intimacy and commitment, and because if intimacy is above commitment, you're going to have insecurity because one of the two is going to be more invested. And the sad thing is we say the one who loves the least has the most power. And that's not how it should be, right?
Right.
And then if commitment is outstripping intimacy, you're going to have manipulation, right? Commitment can be like a carrot that you hold out, like
Yeah.
I can drop you at any time, you know? So that's one of the principles actually of the
Okay.
date to win model is intimacy and commitment.
Yeah. I
Right.
want to say at this point, you know, on your website, datetowin.org, datetowin.org, you have an article up there called No Hookups, No Talking, with quotations around it, and No Breakups. There's a better way,
Yeah.
a better way to date. So wouldn't all these kids like that they're not just hooking up, not talking, and breaking up is hard to do, right? The song
Yeah.
breaking up is, it's terrible.
It's the fear
And a lot of
the
times
breakup,
in these
yeah.
things, it
Yeah.
seems like the woman gets the rawest end of everything, right? I mean, it just for some reason really gets hurt. So what we're going to do at this point, we're going to stop. We're going to hold you over for the final segment so we could speak more about this and begin to get to some of the principles that you all are trying to work with these young people. Go to datetowin.org, datetowin.org, and you can get that article, as we said, hookups, no talking, and no breakups. There's a better way to date and see the principles that are there. It's very, very powerful. We'll be right back. Plenty more to come. Don't go away.
Welcome back. Well, we're having a great conversation with Chuck and Bessie Sok. So tell us about how you're teaching students about intimacy and commitment, the beginning of dating, how you're opening this up for them to keep their hearts from taking the risk, but also to guard their hearts.
Yeah, so I mean, you were talking about risk. I mean, there's no way to have relationships without risk, right? That's just part of it. And one of the challenges is our hearts can run away with us. We know how, especially romantic love is, right? It's sort of legendarily capricious. So you need structure. That's one of the key things to be able to manage those ups and downs of emotion that come with, especially a romantic relationship. So some of the principles are, not surprisingly, intentionality. Like, you have to be intentional in your relationships. And sometimes that can be hard because people are caught up in the romance and they feel like, well, being intentional is not very romantic, right? But it's much less romantic to be heartbroken and broken up. So better to be intentional on the front end. And so what we advocate for are time-bound commitments. So make small commitments, especially start with short time frames of commitment to one another, where you're very intentional about what it is you're doing during that time. And it could be as short as 3 weeks that you're making a commitment to one another. It could be early on in a relationship just to have fun together. And of course, from a Christian standpoint, to remain chaste.
So it's kind of like a very short marriage, so to speak. For better or worse, rich or poor, sickness and health.
It's a promise.
It's a promise, that's what I'm saying.
And you keep your promise, and that's what's going to prepare you for marriage.
So you're saying, like, you would say, I mean, this is strange to hear, you know, because
it's countercultural.
Right. So
It
you're
is, but
saying
needed.
we're together and we're dating, and let's make a commitment to 3 weeks. And then, so we'll be together for 3 weeks. You know, I'm not seeing anybody else. I'm seeing you. It doesn't mean that we're going to get
not going to break up.
Is that what you're saying?
That's it, exactly, yeah. But then at the end of that time, then you prayerfully reevaluate. What should we do next? It might be another 3 weeks of a similar kind of thing, or you may need to move the relationship in a different place. You might need to take a break. But at that reevaluation, you will have kept your promise to one another. And that is so critical, essentially, to train your soul, that habit of virtue of promise keeping.
And honor the other person.
Right.
Right. And I think, you know, the romantic feelings, and we all get swept away, songs and movies and everything, but we're not training our interior life with virtues of patience and self-control. It's like, oh no, I just love him. You know, we would do premarital counseling, and I'd say, you know, why you want to marry? Oh, I just love him, I love him. Well, then after 3 months into the marriage, we would do an after-action checkup point, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't stand him. Well, because it wasn't about your feeling.
Right.
It was about the commitment that you made.
Right.
Right? And that's what you're trying to cultivate for them to
It
honor.
helps you mature as you're dating. Because when you start dating, you're not very mature. That's because you're young. But learning to keep promises helps you to
Okay, so you're making a commitment to time. Is that all that's made? So we'll be together 3 weeks and we'll get to know each other?
But what you're going to do in those 3 weeks. Right.
Yeah, you say together what it is you're going to do, and that's going to be different depending on how mature the relationship is. So we would encourage couples actually to keep it lighthearted and fun in the early stages of a relationship, and to enjoy some of those feelings of romance, as long as you have a structure that helps you stay chaste. And then as the relationship progresses toward where you may be thinking about marriage, then you do need to make sure you're intentional about having some serious conversations.
So like an example of a time-bound commitment, for 3 weeks might be, we'll go out on 2 dates a week, taking turns planning them. We'll talk on the phone every Thursday and encourage each other with whatever is going on at work or at school. You know, just something that's going to be a positive experience where you are having an opportunity to honor the other person. And all this, if you fulfill it and you get to the end, even if neither of you wants to have another time-bound commitment or to continue, or if one of you wants it but the other one doesn't, then that relationship's over, but you can be proud of yourselves.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, we've run out of time in the commitment we have to time. But thank God we have tomorrow to get back together. It's daytowin.com. Is that the site? Daytowin.com. Go there. The information is there, and we'll speak more about dating in the way of holiness and making commitments for certain periods of time. And so it's very, very powerful. We look forward to being with you again tomorrow. God bless you and all of your loved ones. Bye now.